And welcome back to another episode of For the Lads. And tonight we're going to have on the biggest name Australian bodybuilding has ever produced. Competed in arguably the toughest era of bodybuilding through the 90s and early 2000s. An absolute fan favourite because he pulls no punches. He says it the way it is and he isn't afraid to hold back. I'll be joined by my good friend Elias, one of the local gym owners that runs the powerlifting gym around here. We dive into some world events, a little bit about politics, and overall I think it was a great conversation. So I hope you lads stick around and enjoy the interview. Welcome back to another episode of For the Lads, and we're here with bodybuilding royalty and Australian bodybuilding icon Lee Priest.
Thank you.
It really means a lot to us for you to find the time to join us.
Thank you.
It's an absolute pleasure to have you on.
Thank you.
And I thought we'd maybe kick off and see what you're doing lately and what you've been up to in Cairns.
Yeah, just up here, second time up here. I came up for the Gold's Gym and that, so back up here again at the Gold's Gym in the city and that, and city end is it Earlsville?
Yep.
Yeah, that one mainly, and just training some people there. So
nice.
Just hanging out, training people and that. So yeah.
Yeah, nice. And I'm here as well with my good friend Elias. He runs one of the gyms here in Cairns.
Yeah, so a bit more of a powerlifting strength type gym, rather than bodybuilding. But you know, it's all much of a muchness, mate. We all do the same stuff at the end of the day. You've been in Cairns before, quite a few years ago.
It would have been a long time ago.
Long time ago, maybe 15 years ago.
Probably, because I was trying to think.
And there was a gym called Club One Fitness at the time, and the guy who owned it was Pete Henderson. Do you remember him?
Not off him, but I remember coming up this week. I think I was trying to think why I was up here. I think I was with a company or something, or I can't remember, but it was a while ago.
I remember seeing you as a young man when I was in the gym, training at Club One at the time. And Pete Henderson actually was, I think he was about a 4-time Mr. Australia. I think he was at some point. I can't remember when that was. But yeah, I remember being a young bloke and seeing you turn up to the gym. It was all a bit wild at the time.
A daunting
100%.
there, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You know, that was sort of early in my lifting career. I started a bit late in life.
Same.
But yeah, no, it was good to see you in the gym.
Yeah, so it would have been a long time ago.
Yeah, I reckon 15 years probably.
Yeah,
I was going to say probably around 2010-ish, was it, or somewhere?
Could have been around then, yeah, maybe.
So you got into it really young, with your mum, correct?
Actually, I got into it before my mum because my grandfather did a lot of training and stuff, and he did training and wrestling in the army, so he'd always be training. And then I think it was about the time Rocky IV come out in '86.
Oh, that's right.
So I figured, I was doing rugby before that and karate, and so I just do like body weight exercises. And once Rocky IV came out, I got the benches and stuff in the garage, pretending I was training like him in the barn in Russia.
Yeah,
and I was like 12, going 13. So yeah, got into bodybuilding. Well, I never got into bodybuilding to be a bodybuilder. I was more like watching Rocky movies or the He-Man cartoons.
Yeah.
So I wanted to look like He-Man. So
yeah, the Adonis complex.
No, I never even had that. I just wanted to look like He-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, people normally say they get into it because they were bullied at school or something, but no, I wasn't any of that. Just like wanted to look like He-Man. So
yeah, well, your mission accomplished.
Yeah, well, before that, because my mother, there was some actor called Dwayne something back in the day. She was going to call me Dwayne, but then $6 Million Man come on TV, so
yeah,
I got called Lee after Lee Majors. I used to watch the $6 Million show, and he wasn't big, but he was just strong because all of his bionics. So
yeah,
I got into that, then just started training. Then after 8 months of training, when I was 13. Some guys at I was going like the local police boy club and stuff like that. Then I went to the Nautilus Newcastle, and then in there, a guy called Paul Haslam, he'd won the Mr. Australia before, and he was in the powerlifting, and he said you should do a show. Maybe. So at 13, I did 3 bodybuilding shows and won them when I was 13 years old.
Yeah.
13.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I don't even know what the 13-year-olds are doing these days, but they're certainly not doing that.
Sitting on their phones.
Most likely.
But I won't be doing that anymore, will they, once the band comes?
Yeah, true. How do you feel about that?
I just find it's weird because, to me, I think parents get lazy these days, or I put up a post this morning on Instagram saying how, we're all against big government, you know, parenting our kids or watching over us, but yet to me, I'm thinking, well, they wouldn't have to do it if you acted like parents. So I think
100%.
I think today parents try and be their kids' best friend and not their parents. So I've seen so many times where, you know, I say that when I said to someone like probably last year, it's like, you don't understand, Lee. If I don't give the kid what it wants, they do this and yell and scream. I'm like, you're the parent.
You're the parent.
If I
You're
asked
the adult,
my
mate.
mum or dad back in the day and they said no, if I had kept asking, it would have been
You get your ass kicked.
yeah, get the
100%.
whatever, the jug cord, the belt. And to me too, it's like they say, oh, you can't smack it. To me, there's a big difference in a little bit of a discipline than child abuse. You know,
100%.
punching the shit out of a kid.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you give a little smack, okay, you learn. And even when you see we'd be fucking around younger, the cops would come along. As soon as the cops come, yes sir, no sir. When they leave, you go back to fucking around again. But I think you just had more respect back then, and now they go time out and this and that. I'm like, well, it's obviously not working because look at kids today. It's like wherever it's coming from, the internet, they're getting more violent. You see youth crime just running around.
Oh yeah, I think a lot of split families and things out there as well. Dads aren't in the picture. I think that's a big thing with.
And I think too, because they just get out there on the internet. It's just like, to me, like we had to be in bed at 7:30. You can go out now and you'll see parents with kids 2 or 4 years old at 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why are your kids out this?
I see that running a pub. I see that all the
Yeah,
time.
like why are you bringing your kids out at this time? You're half to blame. So I did a post on Instagram this morning just saying, you know what, you parents need to start being fucking parents and looking after your kids and just say no to them and stuff like that. So it is a shame. Like, give your kid a phone, but give them a phone that just can text people and make calls for emergencies. Kids that age don't need to be on the internet 24/7. If they're under the age of 15, have a computer at home in like a common area where if they go online, at least you can see what they're doing. But because I think I said on that post, I said, I've been probably 10 or so, and I found the Playboy under my stepfather's bed. I'm like, look at this. I said, I couldn't imagine.
It's a rite of passage, 12, mate. 13, we've all been there.
Imagine being 10, 13 today, and you just get on Pornhub.
Just get online stuff.
I've been on there before, and even the categories, I'm like, what the fuck's that category? I'm like, there's like a list. You just keep scrolling and scrolling. So just seeing that, and I think too, even adults, because I even mentioned on there, I said, how do you expect kids to be normal seeing that 24/7 when you look how adults behave online, the way we argue with ourselves and hate each other and abuse each other, and just because you look in America, you voted for Trump, the people start fighting. I said, imagine young, and we're meant to be adults with a brain that's more developed. I said, imagine young kids. And, back in the day, I think we didn't really have the morning news. I think you get the morning paper in the front yard, then you get the 6 o'clock nightly news, and you see shit on that. But now, pretty much everything you see on Instagram is just angry shit and violent shit. And you're just bombarded, and kids are just keep scrolling and scrolling.
That's what gets the likes and attention.
Messing their heads up. So, I think it's
Do you think there's going to be... do you think it's going to limit some kids that are doing the right thing, maybe looking for some inspiration, bodybuilding inspiration? Do you think it's going to limit their exposure to good people that are doing the right thing? I think
it will, because that's the hard thing, because you're doing a blanket across everything. Because even seeing with YouTube, I know YouTube monitors a lot of stuff. You can get bans, people get banned of that. So I don't think YouTube's that bad compared to other things. So and then I think kids will find a way around it with VPNs and stuff like that. So. Yeah, that's like I said. There is, it's like a double-edged sword. The internet can be good and it can be bad. So, but I think, as I said, it still comes down to the parents. Where if they're at that age, like I said, just give them a normal phone to text, call people. They can send photos to their friends. But if they want to get online until they're 15 or 16, do it on a computer at home. Excuse me, because like I said, you just see kids everywhere now. Everyone's lost the art of just communication and being real humans, because you'll see kids out, no one's talking, they're all looking at their phones. Or, if I still like driving, and I'll go out driving sometimes, and you see either mum or dad driving, everyone else in the car. Like what happened to I Spy and all those shitty.
Mate, you see it in the gym now, don't you?
I was watching that today when I was training some people there. I looked across at the 4 benches in front of the dumbbell racks, the whole 4 of them.
Just scrolling away.
I just walked behind and looked someone, just like Instagram. I'm like, mate, it's like, what is that important? Unless you're a doctor on call, a heart surgeon, why can't you go at least an hour and a half without your phone? All that shit and everything else, it's still going to be there when you finish.
It's true.
I always laugh too, because even like if I flew from Newcastle to Brisbane, it was like an hour flight. So it's funny, as soon as the plane lands, all you hear is ding, 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 ding. What did I miss? It's been an hour. I'm like, Jesus, what happened in that hour you weren't on your phone? It's like, we're just so crazy with it. And I said, some of the adults are just as bad.
You get sucked into it. And, these companies and things, they're doing marketing degrees based on how they can suck people into this stuff.
Yeah, it's like you like one thing, and then they get the algorithm. They'll start sending you stuff that you liked or something. Yeah, but like I said, but the stuff of it's just so negative too, and you read something, oh fuck, that makes me angry or else. Like, but I just tell people, look, I read stuff. I just keep scrolling. You know, people try to abuse me all the time on there, like. You know, you can keep scrolling. I'm allowed to have an opinion on it. Yeah, you are, but
you don't always have to
share.
share.
Why do you follow me to begin with?
Yeah, 100%.
I'll be on a podcast somewhere and they'll be, watch that. He's full of shit. I'm thinking, well, if you see my name in the title, why do you watch it?
Exactly.
It's like, it'd be like me sitting there with my hand watching a TV show. Fuck, I hate the show. I can't stand this show. Like, hold on, I can change it.
Surprise.
I know, it's weird. Sometimes I think, you know, the biggest fans are the biggest haters and stuff because they said so much hate. I look, I'm like, then why you follow me? Because I've always said, like, you know, when it comes to other sports, I don't really like tennis. I might watch a finals at Wimbledon or something, but I'll never go, oh, hold on, let me follow Djokovic. Yeah. You suck, your backhand sucks, you're a prick, you're fucking useless. I was like, who's got time to do that?
That's the problem. There's people with too much time and they got too much to say about too many things. And it's like, we should be more fucking worried about what you're doing and getting ahead in your life. How do you have all this free time?
Exactly.
You must have nothing going on, you know?
You find most people do sometimes get depressed and do all this sort of stuff. It's because they've got too much time.
Yeah.
Like if you're busy doing stuff and you're out doing stuff, you're too busy doing stuff.
You're too busy to be worried about what other people are doing.
You'll sit there around and sit in your house in a room and like, oh, okay, let me do this. And you'll see someone go, let me join in. So just, you know. Just
but how can you even dislike somebody that much? I don't even understand. I don't dislike anybody that much.
No. I've always said, it's like if someone meets me and I've maybe said something wrong or something, or at least meet me first, then decide you hate me. But I've seen people be like, I hate Lee. That why does it? Well, I hate him too. I'm like, fuck, you haven't even met. Just jump on the bandwagon.
Do you find that stuff affects you, or you just kind of like water off a duck's back, mate?
Oh my god, I could go back to even my early 20s when they didn't have social media. It's just like websites, getbig.com and that, and I'd get abused on there and stuff. And then later on, social media came out when I have my daughter and mother. I'm banging your daughter. I'm doing this. I'm like, good. I said, good luck to you. I said, hope she enjoys it. So I just play into it. So I don't even care. It's like they think it's affecting me. I'm like, go for it.
So you had plenty of practice dealing with that, even in the bodybuilding scene, though, as well. You were controversial, and you dealt with a bit of hate from other bodybuilders when you moved to golds and stuff like that. That's correct.
Yeah. You're the new kid on the block. It's like, who's this guy coming in? So you almost had to earn their respect, type of thing. But even with the industries itself, you know, I talk about the bad politics in the sport. You know, like I understand promoters have to make money and stuff, but when you treat the athletes like shit, they're your bread and butter. Without the athletes, these companies wouldn't be making the money in the magazines or the promoters of the show. It's like sometimes in the day where all these boxers would go out there and the promoter's the one making the most of the money. They give the boxers crumbs, same as bodybuilding. But and bodybuilding hasn't really progressed from that, whereas other sports do. But they got this like hold on bodybuilding, and even today, athletes are still too scared to speak out. Like, but if you all stand together, there are no contests. Without you, there is no shows. So if you're all united, you could get things done. But they never.
It's not in human nature, though.
No, it's just crazy. The funny thing, it's human nature, though, for like violent shit. You get that mob mentality. Someone starts. You see in America, someone jumps on a cop car, they all jump on and smash it. But for
they've
good,
got the numbers.
Yeah, for good, no one does.
Yeah,
nobody wants to stand up.
Even if you look at like in World War II, when they put all the Jews on the trains and that, and there were only a few armed guards.
Yeah,
you know, if you all attacked them, you would, you know, obviously the first few would die, but you would overrun them. Yeah, but they won't, and it's just human nature, and it goes into everything like that. Like
I saw an interview once where it was someone who was in Auschwitz, and they said, well, how did this happen? How did you all get put on trains and sent there? Why didn't you stand up? And because they were comparing it back when COVID come out. Because, you know, when COVID come out, they'll just do one little thing. You're like, okay, that's okay. Yes. Then something goes, they said it's the same like that in Germany. They take away one little right. You're like, well, that's so livable. Next one, this, and next thing, it's kicking you out of the house and taking everything. So they did it in gradual stages. And then they said, before we knew it, we went put on trains and sent it to the concentration camps. So
you look at UK now. They're going, I wouldn't, obviously I'm not saying they're anywhere near that level, but the fact that you can go to prison for posting opinions that people don't like. I mean, the whole part of living in a decent society is you have to fucking put up with people you don't like. You don't touch each other. You don't infringe on their rights. Like you don't stand in the road, stop them going to work. And you have to deal with people you don't like. You know, that's just a part of being an adult, right? And like now you live in a nanny state where the government is going to raise your kids for you and tell you what to think and feel, and then want to go back and rechange George Orwell's 1984, like just the hypocrisy of it, the irony, you know.
That's crazy. I said it when you said this. I always make a joke. I'm like, they had the Free Palestine. Before that was Ukraine. Before that was something else.
Yeah.
I'm like, but the Palestine one's been pretty quiet lately. And then I think someone just put up the other day. I saw a Somali flag. I'm like, oh, that's what it is now. Somali flag. We've got to go with that now, dude.
Yeah.
Like, there's just so many virtual signalers out there.
Yeah.
Like you said, they do it in Newcastle where I live. And it's like you block a road. I said, like those vegans that go into restaurants, meat restaurants, and cause like you're not helping the cause. You know, like, people hate you. It's like if you want people to get behind you, protest peacefully, but don't, like I said, don't infringe on people who have to go to work and do all this stuff. When you're laying on the road in front of a car and you get run over, well, what do you expect is going to happen and stuff like that? So I just don't get all this virtual signaling that people do. And some of them were marching down the road once because I have a military Humvee. And they're marching past and they're yelling at me because I got the military vehicle. I'm like, the body count on this, how many people it's killed? They start filming me. I'm like, okay, just give me your names. I'll get you a ticket to go over there because you can march here, you cause problems. I said, how many kids did you save from being bombed? None. So you just give yourself a pat on the back, take a photo for your Instagram. Look what we did today. It doesn't accomplish anything, sadly.
No, I agree 100%.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think, I mean, again, how much time have you got on your hands?
Exactly. Like I said, you don't want to stereotype too, but they all have that same look. I can't talk. I've got tattoos and shit, but when I look at some of them, they've all got the different coloured hair, the nose rings. It's like you all look like a. And the thing is, too, you can't even have conversations with them. It's like, like when it comes to Trump, you have that Trump derangement syndrome.
Yes.
If they're at protest, you ask them a question, they just start screaming and yelling and blowing horns and like, why can't you just answer a question normally when they're talking to you? So. It's weird.
No, 100%. If you feel that you've got, you're in the right and you've got better opinions, then voice them.
Yeah.
Because the best way to bring people over, although that being said, it feels like you can't change anyone's opinion these days anyway. That's why I just do not get into anything with anyone. But the answer to freedom of speech is more speech, more opportunity to get your opinions across. If your opinions are so much better, then voice them. Don't attack people. Don't stop people from going to work. Don't force people to do what you're doing and then call other people Nazis.
Well, Charlie Kirk was all about that, because he said once we stop talking to each other, that's when all hit breaks loose. And he's racist.
Look what they did to him.
But when you look at all these things, he was never racist. You'd see where it was a black person or a gay person stand up, and if people in the crowd were getting boisterous to the person talking to you, be like, no, let him talk. He's always respectful of the person talking who had talking. So, it's crazy. But then they didn't want to hear anything. And then they'd say something. He goes, okay, where's that come from? Give me the facts. Or Trump's a Nazi. And this, he goes, well, what's he done that's this? They never ever come back. And then that's when they start screaming and yelling. Or those ones on the side of the road of their signs when people go out and there's what's his name? That Klug guy. Someone Klug. He has a...
Chunk yogurt.
No, not him. No,
this
is a young guy, but he does a lot of his stuff around California, Redondo Beach, Hermosa Beach.
I think I know who you mean.
I know his first name is something Klug. He's like he always wears a baseball cap. You'd know him for sure. He's one of the most popular ones over there.
Yeah.
But they'll have signs up, Trump this and that. He goes, well, can you explain what he's done? Or he's deporting Americans and all this. And he goes, well, show me where. And he's going to just start screaming. It's like, well, if you're going to make these comments, at least back it up. Or he'll say, name one thing that he's done. You're calling him Hitler and a Nazi. What's he done? Calling him a king or a dictator. He's like, well, you wouldn't be able to protest if he was a dictator or a king. It's like,
that's right. You can shut down in a heartbeat.
Exactly. Yeah. You'd have the armed guards there shooting you,
Yeah. No, definitely. So you would have seen, obviously, what happened to Charlie Kirk, right?
Yeah.
Because when I was overseas when my brother sent it to me, and at first I was like, that's what I said.
I said to someone, I said, that looked realistic. And they're like, it's real. I said, is it? Then it started really popping up. Like,
how did that make you feel when you seen that and you found out that this was real?
Yeah, it just made you sort of feel sick in the stomach. Then what made me feel worse after that was when you see all those dickheads celebrating. And
yes, that was even worse.
Yeah, it's like you can hate someone all you want, but you wouldn't wish death on anyone, especially like that. And he's got a family. Like I said, he was just out there. And like he said, he you just want to talk to people, get opinions. And he even said, "Look, if you can change my mind, I'm here to listen.
Yeah, go for it.
You know, I might change yours, you might change mine." Or even Stephen Crowder would do that change my mind type thing. Yes, we're here to talk, and maybe you'll tell me something I don't know, and it might change my mind, or I might change yours, or if not, we'll just have a good discussion.
At least you can find out how they've come to their point, their opinion, their point of view. If they can speak eloquently and give how they've become to get to their opinion, and then at least if you walk away, you can go, look, I don't agree, but I understand where they're coming from, even though I don't agree with it. But when all that celebrating came out, that really made me mad.
The ones that had the t-shirts on with like the blood on this side, the white t-shirts like printed up, and it's like I said too, it was before. I don't know where we've come to this. I always think as a human race we're going backwards for starters. We're evolving, and I've always said they call them smartphones, but they're definitely dumbing us down. That's for sure. So it's like not making us smarter.
I think all of it is really.
Yeah, I think it's all maybe a big plan. But yeah, but you just see like before you could back not even 10 years or more ago. Even when I lived in America, you could vote for the Democrats or Republicans, but you'd still be friends and get on. But now you see them, don't go to your family Thanksgiving, don't go to Christmas if they voted for Trump. It's like family members hate each other just due to who they voted for. I'm like, man, where are we going as a society? I like
so sad.
When what was it, that comet that was going past, Atlas? A1 Atlas, whatever.
Yeah.
Fucking hit us, just wipe us out. We need a restart here because we've lost the plot. So.
Yeah. What do you reckon with AI? Do you reckon AI could help maybe the direction we're going? Because if you look at in the West, our debt is increasing exponentially, but we're not producing anything.
Oh, no.
And you can't build a nation if you don't produce anything. And we can't exactly bring anything back here, because how are we going to compete with nations like China that can build things for next to nothing? They spend nothing in development. They only steal intellectual property and then repurpose it. So there's a lot of talk about maybe that AI is the way to go to help rebuild Western nations.
You never know, because I said I don't really get into AI because I still like to try to keep things as basic as possible. Sometimes, like, I'm all for technology, but I think we're moving too fast, too quick.
Yeah,
and I said, even
it ain't going to stop now.
I know. And even with, like I said, smartphones, that when young kids have tablets and smartphones from a younger age, they're already losing the art of communicating and stuff like that. So they don't know how to talk to people, don't know how to react to people.
It's going to be interesting.
And the young kids, younger people now that are having kids because they've been brought up that way, they don't really know how to even raise kids anymore. They just give them tablets to raise the kids.
That's crazy. You see that everywhere. You go to any cafe or restaurant and straight up the kid's got a tablet on the table.
Yeah. You go out and just talk to people and say hi. They're like, what, you talking to me? It's like, oh, you know, I'll go walk in the morning around the beach. Generally, I like having a conversation with the elderly people who are probably 60 plus in their 70s. They'll stop you, have great conversations. But anyone young, you say hello to them, like, what do you say hello to me for? It's like wow. It's like people just get rude and just in their own little worlds. It's like, I take my phone if I'm out walking because I go around the beach in Newcastle. If there's a nice sunrise, I'll take a photo. But the amount of people, it's a beautiful sunrise. It could be dolphins. They're all, as they're walking, I'm like, Jesus, just look around, enjoy life. It's crazy. It's like weird.
Yeah, you're missing out on.
It's almost like I said, it's almost like watching the Matrix. You're always in a. You can just put them. They'd probably be happy to sit at home with their virtual reality headset on and just be happy. It's like that's what it's coming to. It's like I'll just have a little pretend life in my virtual reality world. So
again, it goes back to people that don't have enough going on. I mean, if you have enough going on and you're striving for something, then you are sort of in the middle of you're in your life. You know, like if you don't have enough going on in your life, then you're in other people's lives. You're more worried about what's going on outside instead of what's going on within and what's going on in front of you.
And I think too, everyone's also worried about what other people think so much. Like, you know, on the internet, they got to post their fake lives. So young kids see that, they want that. Everyone wants to be an influencer or someone famous. It's like, what happened to just starting off small? You know, go buy houses now are getting way overpriced. So back in the day, you could buy that small house and do it up and then move on, or get the shitty car to move up. Now young kids, they want the big house. They want the Ford Raptor. Or like trying to get, my wife manages like a tobacco and gift shop and that, trying to get young people into work. They don't want to work. It's like
so hard, mate. I know as an employer as well.
But then if you do get them, Monday, okay, they'll start Monday, by Friday, they want to be the CEO. It's like they don't want to work their way up. It's like, oh, then she'll say to me, look, do you want to work on the weekend? Because they'll be saying, I need money for this and for that. Oh, no, I'm going out. I go drinking with my friends. It's like, how can you complain about money when you don't want to work? You know, we could make extra money on the weekend. It's like, that's ridiculous.
Crazy.
Yeah, in some ways, like it is getting harder, don't get me wrong, but in some ways it's too easy. And if you want to, like, it's too easy to have the basic bare minimum, but the bare minimum in this country is pretty bloody good.
Yeah.
Like, I had to fucking work my ass off to buy this house, and I've got people living in the street that never had a job in their life. You know, they have, you know, decent cars, a decent house, a whole bunch of kids. While me and my wife, we don't have a kid. I work 70 hours a week, 7 days a week. I have for 3.5 years. My wife has 2 jobs. To what? Buy a house on the same fucking street?
Yeah.
You know, like there's a lot of problems there when it as a society.
People get upset too if there's like immigration. No one's against immigration; it's against mass immigration because too many people are coming in too fast. We don't have the resources and everything else. Even you go down Sydney now, my God, it's just like crazy. Same as in America. It's like, you know, I'm all for helping people and that, but you got to help your own country first. And when your own country's on its feet and everyone's looked after, then go play world police. But when you hear the amount of money we give overseas, America gives overseas, and for some of that's, well, even that one that keeps popping up, where you got that one woman now who's had that cab waiting for 7 hours, cost $1,000 of taxpayers' money, because she was watching the tennis match, and she flew a family everywhere, and they're asking Albanese about it. He's like, well, it's in the rules. I was like, okay, but that's a dumb rule. It's like, I don't mind paying taxes if it's going to something worthwhile, but having a cab sit there for 7 hours while your minister's watching the tennis, you just goes, oh, well, she can do that. It's in the rules. I'm like, seriously? Are we that sort of...
Well, she can do that, but we can criticize her for it.
Yeah, but he wouldn't even answer the questions when it came to that. So, and like I said, but did you see that? Was it the bomb website?
Oh, that's insane. Something of $90+ million for a website.
Well, these two guys.
This one.
Oh, don't go
you know, the bomb website. Yeah. Well,
the Bureau of Meteorology.
They had a website, and they asked someone, can they come redo it? And that they said, sure. It's going to cost $4.1 million. And they got these 2 tech guys in there. Like, we could have done that for $500-600. Just a website, nothing fancy. And since it was done, it's been worse. But they were quoted $4.1 million, and now it got done. Guess how much it was? $96.1 million for a new weather website that the government paid for.
That's not even as good as the old one.
No, everyone's complaining. It's like it's worse, but they paid 96. I'm thinking, where's this money go? Who's got the backhanders? And
this doesn't make any sense.
Everything with government contract.
But how can you justify $96 million on a website?
Crazy. As soon as it's a government thing, like, oh, we just charge whatever we want.
Because this one interview I watched, the people that for their living they do websites. He goes, we could have done that for 600. So even the 4.1 million to begin with was ridiculous. But then to blow out the 96 million, and it's worse than it was. It's like, that's just nothing against Aboriginals that too, but what's that? Jacinta Price. She wants to look into it because she goes, I think there's only like 800 or 900,000 registered, like true, or they say full blood Aboriginals or people that say they're Aboriginal in Australia, and every year they get 30 billion. She wanted to look into where this money's going, and they said, no, we're not going to do that. It's like, well, if they're getting 30 billion, that should be helping out a lot, helping them with their schooling or their housing or medical and that. But obviously, it's going to big companies or people that run these. Somebody might have an Aboriginal centre and all the money's going to thing, because I have a friend, he was telling me he had a car yard, and he has a friend in Newcastle. Maybe I should have said in Newcastle. Should have said somewhere, but he runs it at one of the Aboriginal centres there. He won't go to work until like 10 o'clock because he'll be watching the Today Show. And last time he went in there, he's like, oh, you got a new couch there? And he goes, yeah. He goes, that's my old one from home. I wrote myself a cheque for 10 grand. So he wrote a cheque from the Aboriginal Centre for 10 grand to buy his old couch from home. So I'm thinking, I think a lot of these people who will run these places take the money. So it's
anybody who's got any kind of government backing is just
they're just policing it. Yeah, it's ridiculous. And like I said, I don't mind paying taxes if it goes to where it's meant to go. But when you see shit like that, that's why I said to my wife, I said, could you imagine? She gets mad. No one's going to do it. I said, yeah, just live in my fantasy world for a minute. I said, next year, June 30th, when it's tax time, imagine if none of us did our tax. If every Australian just said, fuck you, you're wasting our money, we're not going to pay you. What could they do?
They are.
They're going to fine us all. Okay, we won't pay the fine. Okay, you're going to put 20 odd million people in jail. It's like people have the power even when it comes to that if we unite. But as bad as things are, I think Australians or people are still just a little bit too comfortable. Like you go online and complain and bitch and that, but nothing ever happens.
Nobody's going to do
if
anything
people
about
actually stood up and said, "No, enough's enough. We're not going to pay our tax anymore." What could the government really do? They're like, and to me, it's still when the piss me off the most about the government is it's like, they say go and vote. Well, if you give me someone good to vote for, I'm not just going to fill out, do those donkey votes. Well, it doesn't matter. It goes to the people that are in. So well, it doesn't matter if you vote anyway. But I said, but say you were going to vote for someone. This person says, vote for me. I'll bring down cost of living. I'll do this. And you're like, oh, this person sounds decent. I'm going to vote for him. They get in. Months go by, nothing.
Yeah,
A year goes, nothing. I'm thinking, why can't we kick him out? Because if you had a business and I come in for a job interview, Lee, what can you do? Oh, I can do computer programming. I can do this. I can do that. I'm there for 6 months. You're like, Lee, you haven't done anything. I just said that to get the job. I'd be fired straight away.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know how these politicians can lie, which we know they lie, but how can they promise all this shit, but then they'll blame, it's the opposition, they're holding us back, and they've been talking about a high-speed rail, but just basic stuff. I'm like, why can't you just agree on shit that's for the good of the country? That's why I even hate having Labor, Liberal here. I said, why can't we just have a group of people, like I said, whether it's ex-truck drivers, people who are military, people that worked on the like real Australians, and get like 200M, and that could be the government because they know what it's really like in the real world. Sure, you might argue back and forth, but they're going to be there for the good of the country because the way it is now, you have Labor, Liberal. They know what they've got to do. Let's do this. No, we won't do that. Okay, we'll do it, but we've got to have a survey and do this.
Which will cost a fortune.
Wasted. 4 years, 5 years go past.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it still hasn't been done. We'll do another survey now. And it's like, nothing gets done.
Too much bureaucracy in it.
Yeah, it's just like that's what I hate when the politicians go on. I know what the public is. And you haven't got a clue what the public's going through these days, or you don't even give a shit. It's like you're too busy worrying about the rest of the world or just wasting money on garbage. It's crazy.
Yeah, the fact that they're always bringing new taxes, yet, like, why should we give you more taxes? Because we already, one, pay you a lot in tax, and then two, you devalue our money in inflation constantly, and three, you're still in the red. So why should we give you more money? You can't even fucking look after the money we give you now.
And then it's like, another thing I was just talking about once before, it's like even when they get in, to me, I'd vote for a politician. Instead of say I got in, the first thing I'd do is get rid of their fucking pensions. Like, Lee, but you'd be a politician, you could get it. I said, I don't care if I could get it. It's not fair. I'd put you on I'd say, okay, you're a politician. Some of them get like, 200,000, 300,000 for life.
Yeah.
And on top of that, like what Mike Baird, when he was the Premier of New South Wales, he said he's going to retire to spend more time with his family. But when he was a politician, he did a lot of work for NAB. So sure enough, he retires. He gets like 200,000 a year pension. Then he goes to work for NAB and gets $1 million a year.
Yeah.
It's like, if my mum or dad make an extra couple of hundred, they're going to lose their pension. So I'd cut all them straight away. It's like, when you're in there, the money you make and all the other perks you get, you should be a self-funded retiree because you're not really spending any of it. But you see these politicians going with nothing. Then they've got 10, 20 homes, or it's like that one they hate in America, that Ilma Omar, whatever her name is.
Yeah.
The one who married a brother and stuff.
Yeah.
Like 5 years ago, she was
Brother fucker Omar.
45,000 in debt. Yeah, 45,000 in debt 5 years ago. Now she's worth 30 million.
Yeah,
it's like it doesn't quite add up.
Nothing to see here.
Yeah, the wages you're making doesn't quite add up to what you're worth now. Or even that Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah. She did pretty good.
I reckon she
should get investment advice from her.
She's done great in the stock market.
Yeah, they said she's better than Warren Buffett and everybody. The amount of money she's made into the hundreds of millions. I'm like, the people just see this corruption.
They're getting a few little heads up.
Imagine if Trump did that.
Oh my God.
They'd be burning down another city. But it'd be mostly peaceful. Mostly peaceful fires.
All the fires and the car. Nothing here.
It's pretty peaceful. Don't worry about that. It's mostly peaceful fires,
Like the January 6th thing when they go, this was worse than 9/11, and then I'm like, some people just walked around the White House. It showed all the, if you watch
that Nan
footage,
waving a flag,
with the helmet thing on, but it's like you go in there. Like one woman got killed by the actual police in there, but no other ones died. It's the cop that died. He just had a heart attack from a thing. But
and that was a day later.
And when you see the actual footage, it's not uncut. It shows you the people the cops letting them in, and they're just walking around like they're on a tour. But they're like, this is the biggest thing ever. But then it will show you Trump saying, go down peacefully protest, because isn't it?
And they cut what he said
Yeah,
because
the
he had a
ABC in
speech.
America, aren't they getting sued by him now or something
Yes,
because of
yeah,
the way they worded it? It sounded like go
Yeah.
down and do this, and
they cut a portion out
Yeah.
of his speech to make it sound like go down there and basically
Yeah.
run a riot.
yeah,
But that isn't what he said.
yeah, they
Yeah.
put the whole thing together. So yeah,
Yeah.
but it's even like, but then they'll show you what the Democrats have said. If you see a Republican, get up in their face and
Yes.
punch them, and
Yeah,
they're the ones.
Punch a
Pretty much
Nazi,
everything they said Trump does or
yeah, they
is,
do.
that's them. So I just don't get this whole even like they say Trump's racist. I'm like, okay, he's helped like so many black families, black
Mm.
colleges. Now I said, if he ever used the N word, it would be everywhere. You don't
Mm.
think someone would put that out there? What did they have? Grab her on the pussy. That's
Yeah.
their big thing.
And they
but-
went through him with a fine tooth
Oh my
comb.
god! Yeah, could
If
you
there was
imagine?
more to find, they would have found it.
Oh yeah, that's even like these Epstein files. It's like they had them before Trump got them. If he was in it, they would have put it out there. Or
100%.
could you even imagine, like when they had that last election that Biden won, where he's like, "If you don't vote for me, you're black." Imagine if Trump said that.
Yeah, you're not black.
Yeah, you're not black.
The
You don't
memes.
vote for me. It's like that's what. Yeah, because I forget who he was interviewing. It was one of those. Wasn't Charlemagne the God, was it, or one of those podcasters? He goes,
yeah.
"If you
I
don't
think
vote for
you're
me,
right.
you're not black." And
Yeah.
he's black, but he's like, "No." It's like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy. I was like,
He's some massive gaff, so like walking around getting lost
Oh, yeah.
with and his
"Go
ice
and just walk in this
creams, and
way."
he comes over with that one ice cream, and he's like, "My butt's been wiped."
Yeah.
Did you see that
Yeah.
one? And I was like,
I know it's crazy. But even
"Is
some
that
of
a
those
gaff or like?"
But even those stories to tell about his mate on the train. I used to ride the Amtrak, and they're like,
Oh,
"I didn't
yeah.
even know that guy on the train." Like,
Yeah,
he just wanders
just
off of
lie all
these.
the time.
It's almost like he said. I actually, as much as I don't say I didn't like him, but like his second year in and coming to like third year and that, I
Yeah.
actually felt sorry for him because it's
Yeah.
almost like abuse of an elderly man. It's like they know he wasn't in good health and
No.
mind that, but they
And
keep
he
saying
wasn't running.
he's the sharpest person we know. It's like
But
look at
that says
Trump.
a lot about you guys.
Well, Trump sat there that other day and he's just like, they have his eyes shut. Trump's sleeping, but
Mm.
there's a talk, and Trump's like, yeah, he's just resting his eyes because at least nearly every day Trump's taking questions from the media. He's doing this, he's doing that. Where I think Biden was the least. He barely gave one interview. He didn't do.
Yeah.
He never went in front of the press to answer questions, and that is just.
And how often would he say something and then the White House Twitter would come out? So that isn't actually what he meant.
Yeah.
Well, one, what did he mean? And two, who the fuck are you?
Yeah,
Like, who's
exactly.
running?
And look at all
Right.
that shit now with the auto pen.
Yeah.
It's like he wasn't even signing this shit. People signing with the auto pen for him. So
Yeah.
that's crazy. Crazy world, that's for sure.
No, 100%. Yeah, it's concerning.
I said when I lived there too, it's like even this systemic racism. I lived over there. I think it's getting worse now because people watch the media.
Yeah.
I think that's their whole plan, the old divide and conquer. Because everyone I speak to, you see, they don't care if you're white, black, whatever you are. It's like if you're in need, they'd help you. It's like the way they make out like everyone's racist. And when you look at the stuff over there, I think even back in the day when there were slaves, only like 3% owned slaves in America, and that was down the south. The rest of America didn't have slaves.
Mm.
In the 1800s, even early, late 17s, when it was over there was black mayors and judges.
Yeah.
You know, black people had jobs back then, but they make out like everyone had a slave. It's like, it's crazy. But like I said, no one cares about it in the real world. Everyone gets along. I think we all have more in common than we do differences. But you just watch the media, they'll have you fighting over race, someone's religion. I think that's the whole
And it
big
all
plan.
works well for them
It does,
because that
yeah.
means you're going to click on
Yeah.
the articles, and
And
that's all they care about. They don't care if it tears the country apart.
No, and that's what it's
They
doing.
just want to
Yeah.
get clicks.
Before, now you've got neighbours fighting neighbours, whether it's like race, religion, or who you voted for. So
Yeah.
it's crazy. It's like, why we destroy ourselves? They're doing other shit in the background. So
Yeah.
and I've always figured, always like, you know, when you hear of that big Bilderberg group and the Rothschilds and
Yeah.
the Rockefellers and everyone. To me, it's just like you see those movies where it's the big war table and the countries and then move the boats in. That's what it's like. It's probably just they're sitting all around that table. They'll be like, okay, let's move into this country. Like, say it's like Ukraine, we'll blow that up. And
Yeah.
okay, now you get BlackRock, you'll go in and rebuild after we're destroyed.
And
And
he's
so,
got a cat
yeah,
that he's
yeah.
patted.
I said, we're just all
Like a
pawns in
Bond
their
villain.
game. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And we're falling for it. We're playing their stupid game. So
I think it's either that or it's just like a really unfortunate set of circumstances. It's got to be one or the other, but both are kind of scary, really, you know?
well, half the time it's like that movie Vice.
Mm.
You ever watched that movie Vice with Christian Bale where he played Dick Cheney and
No, but I did hear about it.
It's not bad because as the movie's going, it actually has the actual facts on the bottom of the screen. It'll be like that they needed a reason to invade Iraq, and then it'll say what the reason they gave, and then like Halliburton come in. Then it'll say on the bottom of the screen, this company is Dick Cheney's one of the things in it. He made so many billions of dollars once the war started, and there's like different meetings, and they reckon Dick Cheney had like people like top lawyers and that would come in on these government meetings that no one's ever done before, and he had officers in every, like at the Pentagon, like every government building, he had special officers there. So yeah, it's all it's like the big boys club, So and like I said, and I always say we've got freedom, so I think it's the illusion of freedom half the time. Like compared to other places, sure, but it's not like they make out, because, as we said, in England now, I think it's nearly a couple of times a week now someone's being arrested for what? That Facebook post. I'm like,
it's unreal.
And this one woman, she's like, what happened? They're like, you posted a thing and you got a complaint that someone was offended, and she's like, they were offended over my post. They're like, yes, you'll have to come down to the station. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's insane.
I was like, my God.
Yeah, I just imagine telling people 10 years ago that would happen.
Yeah.
They'd be like, nah, we would never let that happen. And it goes back to like what you were saying, just incrementally, bit by bit, stripping people's rights
I went
away.
to England, twice, and over Europe twice this year, I think, and I posted a lot of stuff. Maybe next year when I fly back, they'll be waiting at the airport for me. Oh, you come here? Because, you've got to fill out that electronic visa before you go to England now, just like America. So they know you're probably planning on coming. The system lights up when your name hits it. Here he comes.
Yeah.
That post you made. But in Australia, it doesn't matter. You offended people here in England.
Then you go.
Let's not go there.
I would avoid going there in general, at least for a while. I mean, and like you were saying, I don't care where people are come from. I don't care what people look like.
Yeah.
But if the main boy's name for people born in London is Muhammad for the past 4 or 5 years in a row, that's a problem. Because you're just you're changing the face of the UK, like you're funding your own replacement.
It's funny you talk about that, because people are like, oh, you're racist just for saying, like, how? It's like when people, they had that woman, forget her name, she's in the Australian Parliament. She's a Muslim lady, but she's like, I'm sick and tired of standing up here. When I look around, all I see is white men and white faces. I'm like, you're in a predominantly white country. It's like, you never would, but if I was in Somalia or Iraq or Pakistan and I got on the government, I don't think I'm going to see a lot of white faces in their government. So I'm like,
no, that's right.
Same as in England, they're saying, oh, there's not many here. It's like, because, England was pretty much Christian white country. You've come over there. To me, I don't even know how some of these people get on the governments. To me, it should be people from that country to begin with. But even if they're born there, but a lot of their allegiance is still to the country they left. And that's why I could never understand too. Like, you come in to a Western country, but yet they hate Western society and our beliefs. And I think there's like 56 Muslim countries, and half of them won't even take them in. So I'm thinking, well, that tells you something if they don't take them. And they just come over here. Like, even now, I think in England, and there's Dearborn in the USA, and that, where the Muslims are going, you can just tell they're pushing buttons, because now they're praying in the street, blocking traffic. I think, and you can't, like I said, look, fair is fair. If I can go over to their country and build a Christian church and play the Lord's Prayer over loudspeakers, that's fine, but that'll never happen. It's like, we just bend over backwards for these people, and it's like, and they know what they're doing. And there was that one imam here in Sydney. He was the guy they used to always go to when there was something that happened, like the keep peace. He'd be like, no, we're peaceful, we're this and that. Forget what reporter it was. You'll probably find it online. He went undercover. He was pretty much just said, it's for like the Quran and that, like I said, anything, the Bible, you can twist it to how you want it. They're all pretty demented. But like I said, when I talk about stuff too, I'm always talking about the extremists, whether it's the extremist Muslims, you have extremist Christians, you have fucking pedophile priests. So all fucking religions can be twisted and have the bad elements. But yeah, they had the undercover guy go in there, and someone asked him about, on TV, you said this, and yes, we love the country, obey the laws. He's like, I just say that to the infidels. He goes, we don't obey their laws and stuff. But every time he's on TV, he's like, yes, we do, and this and that. I'm like, you two-faced prick. So that's what gets me. You come to Australia to be Australian, but yet if push comes to shove, they're like, loyalties lie with the other. Then it's like in America or Australia here. You've come here for a better life and you've got all these benefits, but now you're waving the Palestinian flag, the country you fled from persecution, and you're burning our flag. Like, I was at a car show a couple of weeks ago, and Pauline Hanson was there. Got some photos. We'll put them online. Well, you're racist with her. And my friend had an Australian flag. I said, I'll get Pauline to sign it. So we went over. She goes, okay, I'll sign it, but I don't want anyone to see me, because she goes, signing the flag is an offence. I can be jailed, locked up, or even fined. She goes, isn't it weird? She goes, by me signing this, that's an offence, but you can burn it, no problem. I think, how fucked up's that? Yeah, so
yeah, massively.
Yeah, signing the flag is, you can get in trouble for it, but burning it, like, to me, you burned the flag, you should at least do some jail time, because, like I said, you come to a country that's given you open arms and trying to help you out, help your family out, giving you safe haven. Even remember, like, some of the, when they had those, not the ones on one island, but they showed you some of those detention centres, and I'm thinking, they look like nice mobile homes. You know, got, you know, they take them out on day trips. They gave them phones, computers, and someone's like, "Oh, we've been here 6 months," and I'm thinking, to me, if I was fleeing a country where me and my kids are going to get bombed or shot every day, and I come to a place where, okay, it might not be the palace, but you know what? I got a roof over my head. My kids are safe. I got food. I wouldn't be fucking complaining for the time being. It's like, you should be happy you and your kids are safe, but they're just like pushing the system to the max. But like I said, you say anything, you're, you know, Islamophobia, this shit, that, or if you say anything about Palestine, oh, you're with the. I was saying about the other day about, look, both sides are pretty crazy. I said, oh, how much the Jews paying you? I'm like, oh, now I'm getting paid by the Jews. Where's my check? So I don't know.
They don't really they don't care about freedom of speech. They're just going to weaponize your feelings and that against you. You know,
but if
they
you're
don't
doing
care
the word
about
racist now, all these things have been thrown around so much, I think it's lost its thing, you know?
Yeah.
If someone was racist, you had to have done something really bad and did something where someone goes, you're a racist. But now you just disagree with someone saying, we've got too much immigration coming in, you're racist. I was like, oh, knock it off. That's like crazy.
100%. You imagine if this happened to what's happening now in the Western countries, if that happened to like an Asian country or any other nation that isn't a Western nation.
It wouldn't happen.
Yeah,
I would
it wouldn't happen.
Putin putting up with it, or someone like that. I was in Russia.
But the same people would be saying, "Oh, you know, this is racism. You shouldn't be doing this to their country." Blah blah blah. But it's just self-defeating hateness that they have for their own country. I don't understand.
It's like
because if this country goes to shit, we all go down together.
Oh yeah, It's like Pauline Hanson wore the burqa into Parliament again, and people are going off it. I'm like, well, I understand that. Looks like, because you have two sides of it. Some women say they want to wear it, but then you get other women saying no, they have to wear it. The husbands make them wear it, and this and that. And then there's the ones where, you know, there's been like, well, look at those that whole rape thing in the UK that Tommy Robinson's come out with, and thousands of young girls have been raped for years and years, and they got videos of it and that, but they didn't want to put it out there. I think even in court they had like videos of these young girls being raped over and over, passed around. They said, we didn't want to put it out there because it would have caused division and stuff. So for years they swept it under the carpet, all these hundreds of girls or even thousands being raped throughout England in the UK from Muslim men. And that just one the other day when he was in court, the defense was that, you know, he's just new to the country.
Oh, I saw
the culture's different, so he's just adapting. He didn't know. I'm thinking, what? There's no excuse. It's like,
just imagine if that was your daughter.
Yeah. Sometimes I don't wish it on anyone, but sometimes I wish, even like when that girl who got stabbed on the train in New York, and now there was one just 2 weeks ago got set on fire on a train.
Yeah.
And the guy that did that, 72 times he's been arrested and let out. 72. I'm thinking, I don't wish it on anyone, but you know what? Sometimes I think politicians or judges need to have one of their family members harmed just so they know what it feels like, because they're just sitting there. I used to go on ride-alongs with the police over there, and they were like, ugh. And I went, oh, and he goes, I've arrested this guy 10 times already. Just keep getting out. It's like, so the police are frustrated because the lawyers, I mean, the judges and that are just letting them out for God knows what reasons. And I don't understand too, because here in Australia, we have those, you know, the gangs in Melbourne, that machete gangs, and they've injured people. And who was that one? Was it up here in Queensland where that woman got stabbed with a granddaughter at a mall or shopping centre? And the guy just got...
To be honest, I just see so much of it all the time that I lose track of it,
Because the guy caught in the radio station in Sydney. It's been like a couple of years, but she got stabbed like 50-odd times. There was a young kid that had been let out 4 times in front of her granddaughter, and he just got 8 years. 8 years. I'm like, that's just like a slap on the wrist. I'm like, it's just nuts. That's just crazy.
Well, I thought I would circle around and maybe
Back to bodybuilding.
yeah, it was. Oh, I don't know. It was
Get
a
back to
great
some training.
conversation.
Yeah, but I think the thing I said
That's
look,
why I
I'm the thing with
mentioned.
Pauline. I said,
Yeah.
I'm not against the burqa. If you want to wear the burqa down the street, that's fine. But I said, that's what I think Australians hate is, say you're out for a motorbike ride, you got to, even open face helmet or full face, you got to take it off to get petrol.
Mm.
You can't go into a bank with a helmet or hoodie on. So I think people just hate that they can wear a full face burqa, they can get petrol, they can go into a bank. So if you're here in Australia, you should be Australian and have allegiance
100%.
to Australian and abide by our laws. You can't have one rule for them, one rule for us. And I think that's what upsets the boat, because it's like, I'm an Australian, I do this and pay my tax. Why can't I do that? They come into the country and they're allowed to do it.
Our laws have to bend for them.
Yeah.
You have the benefit of being in this great nation. You need to sort of accommodate us, not the other way around. And as for the burqa, I agree. Like, if you're going to wear it, whatever, but there's got to be places you can't wear it in, because not only is your identity hidden, you can't even tell if it's it could be a man under there for all you know.
Well, who was that one? There was actually that one who went to court. She got pulled over. She wouldn't remove it for the police.
Yeah.
And when it went to court and that sort of thing, they're like, well, how do you know it was me? That was their defense. You can't tell it was me. And then they'd be thrown out of court. So, yeah, I just think places, like I said, anywhere where an Australian can't cover their face should be the same for them. That's it. And I think if they did that, people wouldn't be as so up in arms about it, because it's like one rule for everybody. So
no, I agree. Yeah, 100%. One rule for everyone. Judge a man on his, character.
I said I couldn't even imagine going to another country. Like I said, I was just in Russia 2 years ago, and even when I was going there,
True. How was that?
Great. Yeah, people were friendly. It was nice. The food's great because they don't allow any of that chemical engineering with the food. They don't allow any chemical engineering with the food and that. But even when I was going there, I put online the amount of hate I got. Fuck you, going to support Putin. I'm like, I went to a bodybuilding show. There's probably 700 competitors. I did a few seminars. People were great, welcoming. I walked around Moscow and went to some other little places, and you wouldn't even know there was a war going on. But then, and people were saying, "Why are you getting on lethal?" Because he's going to Russia and Ukraine. And I said, "What's that got to do with me?" And this is one guy actually wrote back. Well, how do you know when you're giving your seminar, there could be some soldiers that are on leave. They're going to come to your seminar and you're going to motivate them to go back and kill more Ukrainians. I'm like, that's
exactly what I'm here for.
That's a big bow to draw, but okay. It's like, okay, we saw Lee and he told us how to do biceps. Let's go kill more Ukrainians. I was like, you fucking idiots. It's like, I just had to look at the internet some days and just go, what the fuck are we living in?
They're just going to come up with anything to paint you and whatever
I think maybe
light they want.
A lot more people probably need to go to the gym.
Definitely. Including me lately. I've been too slack on it.
Or even just get around the real world and go see other countries, because that's the thing too. When people always complain about Australia or America, I can't want to leave. It's like, have you really been to other countries where, you see how other people live and what they have and don't have? It's like, we've got it pretty good here and so do Americans. So you should be thankful for what you have. It's like,
Yeah, definitely. Should definitely be grateful, and we should fight to keep it the way it is.
It is, yeah. Like I said, and I'm all for anyone coming in as long as they want to assimilate and come to the country and help the country grow, be part of the country. Don't come in and just get in your little enclaves here and there where they don't assimilate, they don't mix. It's like, that's ridiculous. And but they're immigrants, were built on immigrants. I said, but immigrants back down are totally different to now. Like when they came from Greece or wherever back in the day, Italy, and that they came to the country, they learnt the language, they lived in all the communities. You'd have Italians living next door or Greeks living across the road. Everyone mingled and everyone got along great. But now it's like everyone's just lived in their own little communities. No one blends in anymore. It gets
immigrant mentality now to 30 years ago is the meaning is different.
Oh yeah, totally different. And like I said, you try to go to one of their countries and get in, you try going to China with illegally or Russia or some of those other countries, you'll be
even if you're a good boy over there, they're watching.
Well, shit, I went to Russia with a visa. I had to stand to the side for at least 2 hours while they were looking at my passport. They took it into the back room. I'm thinking, oh shit. And there must have been some illegals, because as I was there, the police come through. There's 40 people all handcuffed together going through. I guess they were getting deported from the country, but I'm sitting there with all these other people. I'm like, oh shit. Then they just come out and go, you're right. I think, but I had to wait like 2 hours. I'm thinking, shit, are they
a little unsettling?
Hold on, let me go see. But there's just a thing online today. I've got the electronic visa for America for another year or two, because it's like 2 years.
Yeah.
But they're saying now, they're trying to bring in that when you apply for that visa now, you have to put down family members' phone numbers, their addresses, whatever your social media presence is, Instagram and that, they have to be allowed to go through it for the last 5 years to see your posts and stuff like that. And I said, just start posting good stuff about Trump. Just be positive. I think, yeah, but even it was funny. Even when I came home, that only happened to me once because tattoos. Let's check your bags. And I'm like, here we go. But last time, one of the times, they're like, give us your cell phone. I'm like, my cell phone? Why? So you're not checking anyone else's cell phone. We need to look at your phone. I said, why? They took it off. I had to unlock it. She gives it to a girl, and she's anything. No, I'm thinking, look, I understand if you search my case, and maybe something comes up. There's drugs. When they do that second screening, they'd take my phone, but they took it straight away. So next time, I think I'm just going to maybe take a photo of myself holding my cock with a sign, "Suck it, custard." So next time they take my phone, that's the first photo they see. Just ridiculous. Yeah, but I always get that. It's illegal to bring steroids into the country. I'm like, I live here. Why would I? They're cheaper to buy here. Another time they checked my bag once. That's the guy that checked was a fan of mine. He's like, "How you going?" I said, "Good." We're just chatting. He actually packed it back nice. They normally don't. And his supervisor come over and go, "Anything?" He's like, "No, he's good. Check it again." The Yankee's like, "Oh, Lee, I'm sorry." And the guy's just standing there, and I'm just like, "What are you looking for?" He goes, "Well, you bring steroids." And I said, "No, I don't. They're cheaper to buy here." I said, "And if I was going to bring them in, I would have given them to my skinny mate that went through 20 minutes ago." And he's like, "What?" I didn't have a mate with me. I just said that. Or sometimes when I'm coming in, I'd be like, "You do know it's illegal to bring steroids." I'm like, "Oh, well, thank God. I've only got heroin and cocaine then. All right." I just fuck with them now. I can't even bother anymore. So it's just ridiculous. I think they just see the tattoos and like, "Oh, yeah, he's a bad guy."
Yeah.
Last time they bring the sniffer dogs around me, I'm like, I had the sniffer dog sit down once because I had food in an old cooler, but it was empty then. So I was just sitting there. They got everyone lined up, and the dogs come along and sits right at my feet. I'm like, "You fucking dogs." Everyone's just looking at me now. "Oh yeah, tattooed guy." It's him.
That guy.
Yeah, I just said, there was chicken in that. The dog's probably hungry. Yeah, looking at us, okay, you're right. The way everyone just stared at me like, haha, they got him. Fuck.
So I will circle around to bodybuilding for a little bit, but
training.
Yeah. So yeah, you competed with your mum when you were younger. She was
17,
pretty. She was pretty successful as well, right?
Yeah, she competed for about 2 years or so because I was already, like I said, I've been competing from 13 to 17. I won pretty much everything, state titles and that, and placed third in the men's open when I was 14. And then, 16, I had the year off because I just wanted to eat because I enjoy eating and I go fuck dieting again. So 17, I actually won the state and I won the Mr. Australia. And my mum, she's like me, she enjoys food, so she was a little bit overweight. She's like, if I get in shape, will you do the couples with me? I'm like, yeah, mum, you get in shape. I do. Thinking she'd never get in shape because I'm thinking, I'm 17. I won't be seen on stage with my fucking mother. That'd be embarrassing. I said, yeah, do it. 8 months later, she's in shape. I'm like, oh, fuck, now I've got to compete.
Now you got to do it.
Yeah, so we went up and we were the first mother and son in the world to win a national title together. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Then we went to America and did like a guest exhibition together. And yeah, so she did that for like another year or two and then she just gave up. So said she was the smart one. And then my daughter later on, she got into the fitness side of things and she got a pro card as well.
Oh, wow. Nice. So you were obviously going from there to going on to the bodybuilding career you had. She must have been very proud of you.
Yeah, well, in the beginning when I was going to do bodybuilding, because I did other sports and I was always very shy and I did magic and I wanted to go on stage and do magic. I'm like, I'm going to fuck this up. So when I said, oh, these people at the gym said I should try bodybuilding, she's like, you're going to go on stage in posing trunks in front of everyone? I'm like, oh, I'll give it a go. And on my documentary, if you haven't seen it, it's on Amazon Prime called Rebel with a Cause. On that, she goes, yeah, that's my big regret. She goes, when he went to compete and come back with the trophy, I never went to his first contest to watch him because I didn't think he'd get up on stage and do it. So she never went. She goes, he taught me a lesson. So I went to the majority of the ones until I went to America. Yeah, but I had a good bodybuilding career over there. Then I also got into car racing and that, won a few road races and circle track. And then I got into the dragsters and I won the championship drag racing. And then I was getting ready for a show one time. And like I said, the first Hulk movie to come out with Eric Bana.
Yeah.
They said, oh, we need people to go up to Universal. They wanted to get the Hulk because the Hulk, they had Ang Lee. He's like one of the famous directors. Ang Lee, he's done a lot of good movies. He had on those motion capture suits on with all the little dots on it, and it still looked too animated. So when I went up there and just did a bit of stuff as I was leaving, they got the stunt coordinator, want you to come back. He likes your look because I was in contest shape. You could see all the veins, all the muscles. I was lucky enough to get the part, so they flew me up to George Lucas's studio. I said, you walk into his studio, it's just like almost like this, a big toy shop. He's got like Darth Vader's lifestyle everywhere. Yeah. He's got glass thing, probably 6 times this big, and underneath it's the Millennium Falcon.
Oh, wow.
And all that sort of stuff. So they took me out the back. I was up at Industrial Light Magic up in San Francisco area. And they took me there, and it was like the big sound stage. I had like 16 cameras around me. Pretty much whatever the Hulk did, the running, the jumping in the movie where he's swinging the tank around. I had to swing around a sandbag on a piece of rope. And when he put like Jennifer Connelly on the car roof, I just had to pick up a piece of wood and move it. So pretty much all the movements I did. Then a year later, I did the same thing for the video game. And then since I've been home in Australia, I did a movie called Dumb Criminals with the people from Housos.
Oh, true.
I did 2 seasons of Fat Pizza where I played the white supremacist gang. So that's funny. Sometimes even now, still I walk down the streets in Newcastle, someone yells out, "White power!" I'm like, the people look at me thinking, "What? White power?" That's funny. We actually filmed the last season of that. We're in Sydney, Sydney's multicultural. We're filming. Paulie was in the tattoo shop. In the pizza shop talking about Hitler, and I walked past and I'm like, "Yeah," and "Hail Hitler" and all that sort of stuff. And he goes, "Okay, Lee, we'll have a break now. Just you and your mates." I had a few mates be covered in tattoos because they're part of the white power gang, because they had like a African gang later on. We all fight in the street, and how Housos is and Fat Pizza is. So I said, "Oh, we'll go get a coffee." So we're going to the coffee shop, and it's like I said, there's like Muslim, there's black people, there's Chinese, and that. And everyone's just like, "Fuck, it must be our tattoos." They're just staring at us. I'm ordering coffee, and the guy just ordered coffee, taking my order, just staring at me. I'm like, "You can have a couple of cappuccinos," and that. As I'm looking down, I'm like, "Oh fuck, I'm still wearing all my white power shirt." Because I had long all day. I forgot I had long. No wonder staring at it. Like, yeah, but then we did one a year or so ago. If you go on 7 Mate, the TV station.
Yeah, I haven't had TV channels on my TV for a long time, but yeah, I know.
Well, if you got 7 Mate, or even on your phone, there's an app called 7 Plus.
Okay.
If you go on there and you put in Darradong Local Council, there was like 9 episodes. It's really un-PC, where one of the council members one day wants to be a furry, the next day they want to have a sex change. So they have these crazy meetings in the lunchroom. It's just all, like I said, just totally off the wall comedy. And I play a parking ranger, not just giving out parking tickets, abusing people.
Yeah.
And then last year we did Outback Comedian, where we'll go around the country with Paulie. He's doing stand-up and I play security.
Yeah.
But the running joke is, because in real life when he did do that, every time he needed his security, he was off banging groupies. So I'm his security, but when he needs me, I'm never there. So it's funny because when I do that, my wife saw it. She's like, "Oh, that's funny." She said, "You better not be having sex with him." And that, I said, "Honey,"
your wife sounds like my wife.
I said, "Honey," I said, "if you get mad at this show," I said, "it just shows you that I'm a good actor. That's all it is." So yeah, but even then, I was like, that was a funny one to do.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And you're almost Bane as well. So you've been the Hulk and you're almost Bane.
Yeah, missed out. It came down to me and Jeep Swenson, the stronger. Yeah, I went up there. I met Joel Schumacher and that a few times. I went up there and yeah, it came down. The only reason that I missed out was because Jeep Swenson was about 6'4".
Yeah,
because he was like,
and Uma Thurman's pretty cool.
Was tall, yeah, and I was shorter. He's like, he told my friend, because my friend Christian Boving, he was in the fence. He had a few parts in as one of the henchmen and all that. He goes, "Oh, Joel said you'll kill yourself if how close you were to getting that role." But then to make up for that, I went back up and Joel Schumacher took me down to where they're filming Lois and Clark, because he knew I liked Superman at the time. So got to watch a bit of filming as I'm leaving. All these Superman suits hanging up. I'm like, "Ooh, I wonder if I could just steal one." Type thing. So yeah, but that was pretty good. And then I did miss out because my manager at the time, I don't know how he fucked up on it. Remember 50 First Dates?
Yeah.
With Drew Barrymore and Adam Sandler?
Yeah.
Remember the guy that was in Lord of the Rings that played the brother? He's always walking around, "I'm on steroids," and that was meant to be my part, yeah.
True.
They had the script. They was calling me every day, "Have you got it, Lee? Can you send in the tape if you're doing this?" They had someone lined up to teach me the American accent. I said, "Wouldn't it be funny if they said the Australian accent?" Yeah, so when I went to watch the movie, I knew every line off by fucking heart, but for some reason my manager didn't get the tape to me in time, but they were holding back waiting for it. I'm like, and I always said that was probably my biggest break gone, because you always know with Adam Sandler movies, it's like, if you get one of his movies and he likes you seem to be in every movie.
Everyone after that.
Yeah, I'm my manager. "Thank you, fucking dickhead." That could have been my big break. I could have ended up being Wolverine.
Yeah, well, you would have been perfect for Wolverine.
Wolverine
Jack
like,
and
but in the
short.
comics, he's like,
you don't have to
5'4".
worry about the height problem with
But even in the comics, I think he was only 5'4".
He was only short. Yeah. No, he would have been perfect for
that. Like I said, I just done stuff like that. I've done a little bit here and there. Anything I do too, I just like bodybuilding. I never got into it saying I was going to be a pro bodybuilder. It's just, if I love something and I do it, it happens. And when I was at the Olympia one year, a guy who was into drag racing, and so I met people that were fans of mine. So I'd go hang out at the racetrack, and I'm like, there you go, get your license and train. Okay, so I got it. It was fun because I had fun at it. You know, just like I said, won some races. My first year in drag racing, I got Rookie of the Year and third the championship.
That's
I'm
awesome.
like, if I do more races next year and get more points, I can probably win. So next year I won the championship. So even the acting thing, it's not saying I pursue, but it's just there's a little short film if you watch it on YouTube called Round Trip. I got Best Supporting Actor in it. Just like a sort of movie for Drop Fest.
Yep.
It's pretty trippy the way if you watch it, it sort of doubles back on itself. It's only a 7-minute one, but if you go on YouTube, it's called Round Trip. So things like that just pop up. I don't go out seeking them and stuff. So I just find let fate take its course and end up where I end up. And I said, but I find anything in life, if you enjoy it, it doesn't seem like work. So I always try and tell people if you find something you love, do it. You know, sure, you get stuck in jobs that you hate, and sometimes it's hard to change jobs and stuff. But it is, like I said, if you could probably make millions from this, as I said, you probably love doing this. It's like it doesn't seem like work because you just enjoy it so much. So.
It is. It's cool, man, because I get to meet, you know, people I look up to like yourself. We've had Ken Shamrock. We had Matt Wenning. Do you follow powerlifting much?
Not much. No.
Well, he's pretty big in the powerlifting scene. We've had a few UFC guys, world champion boxer. You like motorsports? You watch motocross at all?
My old training partner, Andy Cunningham, he used to train a lot of motocross. He was more into that, but I was more into the car racing type side of stuff. Yeah, but it's like anything. If you have a job but it doesn't feel like a job, then it's, you know, it's gravy. It's fun. Yeah. So I always try and tell people, you know, it's like I said, sometimes you're in a job and at the moment, if there aren't other jobs you can go to, but if you can find something you love doing where it doesn't seem like work, I always just find you're going to excel at it and you're going to be better at it because you actually enjoy doing it rather than, oh, fuck, got to get up here. I go.
Probably a good lesson, James, huh?
They just pay me too well, brother. I can't get away.
Sometimes if the money's good, you can sort of go, oh, it sucks for a minute, but I'll put up with it for a bit longer.
Well, when you do 70 hours, 30 hours of it's overtime, so it has to be all right.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like, he's doing this for a reason. He's going to fuck off in a couple of years.
Maybe. Nah, yeah. Look, I appreciate my bosses. That's one good thing is the people I work for, they're really good people.
That makes a difference too, because you see those companies even in America, if you have a good rapport with the bosses and other workers, again, it doesn't seem like work, where I've seen bosses where they do well, but yet then they will pay for his workers' holidays and trips and stuff like that. And the workers appreciate that because some bosses, you know, it's all about them making the money and you see the CEO making millions and you get this little bit and you don't get much time with your family. But yeah, that's the thing. It just comes down to being nice to people and treating them well with respect. And see, I've never had an ego. People are like, oh, Lee, yeah, this and that. Because people at me today, when I bump into people, even coming up here at the airport, oh, you're Lee Priest. I'm like, I'm just Lee. This one guy's like, no, you're Lee Priest. I said, mate, I'm just Lee a wanker. He's like, no, you're not a wanker. He goes, you wouldn't know how much you've helped me in life just telling your silly stories online. And I was talking about when I was younger, when I tried suicide and just my crazy family and my father's gay and all this sort of stuff. And people can relate to a lot of that. And I never think, but I get a lot of letters saying how my life stories have helped them. But yet I said, look, I'm just Lee. I'm just a dickhead. Sure, I was great at bodybuilding. I had the genetics for it and whatever else. And people got to know me from that. But I said, I'm no different to you. I said, what do you do? He got, I'm a plumber. I said, well, you're probably a great plumber. I was a great bodybuilder. I'm no better than you, mate. So it's just like, so I always find it weird today where people go, oh, you're Lee Priest. I'm like, I'm just Lee. That's it. It's like, and then if they want photos at the airport, I'm like, oh, now everyone's looking. They're probably thinking, who is this guy? Because I got the tattoo. They're probably thinking he's a UFC fighter or something. But yeah, I just find it still weird to this day that people sort of, oh, you're Lee Priest. I'm like, to me, I said, I'm just Lee. I'm just an idiot. So
I mean, you probably don't even understand the extent of it, really.
No, I don't. No.
Probably, you know, hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people that know who you are, watching your content, you know, going through everything. And, you know, as a young bloke, you know, looking up to you as a bodybuilder back in the day, you know, one of the best arms on the planet. You know, maybe there's some young guys out there looking now, maybe they want some tips.
Yeah. Maybe, like I said, if you come to training, I said, go back to internet. That's a good thing and a bad thing. But it's like I always tell people, just don't overthink it. You know, bodybuilding, when you look at it, it's very basic.
Yeah.
You lift the weight up. If I say, okay, I do barbell curl this way, okay, and I say it's my favorite exercise, that's how you get big arms, but you might like dumbbell curl. Like the thing, nothing's set in stone with training. Like I said, I might do it this way. You might just twist your hand this way a bit and you feel it better. If you feel it better that way, do it that way, because I'm not going to say the way I train's the perfect way, as long as you don't cheat. And I always said, if you cheat a little bit, add stress to the muscle, don't take it away, because once you start swinging and that, you just become ego lifting and throwing weights around. But yeah, it's like you get all this scientific science bro type stuff now. Like, you don't need to reinvent the wheel, people. You know, picking up dumbbells, pressing a weight has never changed. You don't need to do anything different. Or when it comes to dieting, people are like, I want to bulk up, Lee, what should I eat? I'm like, everything. I want to put weight on. Just eat. And it's not hard. Or then dieting. It's like, yeah, if you're going to do a bodybuilding show, it's different. You've got to go to the extreme to get that. I said, but if you're just the average person or gym goer who wants to lose weight, we all know just comes down to clean eating, doing a bit of cardio and exercise. I said, there's no secret pill where if you take steroids or do anything, you can't turn shit into gold, because I've seen so many people, I just take drugs, or they'll be like, well, I train natural, so what should I do? I said, I trained natural for 7 years, and people are like, well, why'd you take steroids at 19? It's like, well, it's just before I turned 20. I took them because from the age of 13 to almost 20, I'd won everything naturally. And then I was going to America and got my pro card. I'm like, well, sadly, yes, I got good genetics for this sport, but so do they. So if they have good genetics when they're on it, sadly, I got to go on it just to keep up with them. So that's the only reason I had to take it. But I was never one of those that ever talked about steroids. Like all the years I was over there, 20 years, Paul Dillette lived with me, another pro, and that we never discuss it. Like you see online, people talking about steroids like they're this magical thing. And I'm sure you know people, we all know people that have taken it. And if you looked at them, it doesn't even look like they've been in the gym. And like I'll talk about my dosages too. If I took testosterone, I never went over 400. I had a friend who said, Lee, you should try more. One time I went to 800. I felt like shit, so I went back to 4. Oh, he's lying. I already takes 1,000 milligrams. I'm like, I'm the guy fucking taking it. I should know what I'm taking. And I'm telling you that if you are going to go that route and take them, you don't need these stupid amounts. I said, the only one's going to benefit is you guy who's buying it off, because you're going to be buying a lot more. I said, you only need a small amount. I said, even if you call me a liar, I said, if you're taking, I go to England and when I'm over there, there's young kids taking 5 grams a week. Like 5,000 milligrams. I'm like, so when I tell them I take 400, they look at me and go, I can just see in their mind, they're like, if I'm taking 2 or 5,000, I'm only this big, he's bigger than me. He's got to be on 10.
Yeah, there's
It's
no
like,
way.
It doesn't work that way, people. Sadly, it doesn't work that way. And for some reason, too, it's like, I don't know what it's about bodybuilding. It might be like powerlifting, too, that everyone that gets into it thinks they're going to be super strong or super massive, a freak. I like, you're talking about the top 1% that make it in any sport. You could, if we went around the world, how many people can probably run fast? But, you know, taking a drug's not going to make you a Carl Lewis or Usain Bolt or somebody. So same with bodybuilding. Like I said, I got friends that play golf or do tennis, but they do it for fun. They might do a little local contest and stuff, but they're not coming up to me going, fuck Lee, you know, I'm into tennis next year. Fucking Andy Murray's fucked. I'm going to go beat him. It's like, but every guy that goes into a gym thinks they can be Mr. Olympia if they just get on the gear and lift weights. And if they don't, well, you won't tell me the secret. I'm like, there is no secret. I remember I used to sometimes do diets for people and do stuff up and send it out to them. Amount of times I get an email back, is that it? I'm like, what do you mean? I could have done that myself. It's basic. I'm like, yeah, you could have, but you asked me to. I'm like, I thought there would have been more this and more technical. I said, that's not technical, mate. I said, even when it comes to the drugs, if you keep it all basic, you don't need to go into all this bro science.
It's no different to powerlifting programming. It's the same thing, mate. We stick to the basics. You get stronger, and it just takes a bit of time.
Yeah.
You know,
they don't want to hear time. They want it now.
They want it now.
Oh, yeah. I had a guy once, he said, hello, your arms are big. How long have you been training? I'm like, oh, well, now I've been training, what, probably 40 years, but back then I was probably like 25. Oh, I could get my arms like that in 2 years. I'm like, mate, if you can do it,
go for it,
go
bro.
right ahead. It's like, let me know how you've done it. Or when they want it, what's the secret, Lee? I'm like, mate, if you find the secret, tell me, because I've just wasted 40 years doing it the hard way. I said, there is no secret in anything in life. So it's just, everyone just thinks they can do crazy shit now. And the thing is, I just don't get the whole steroid talk, because yes, steroids are in every sport, professional football, no matter what. They had a thing in Sports Illustrated back in the 90s, steroid use in sports. Bodybuilding was number 8. Number 4, I think, was like college kids just wanted to look good. But guess what the number 1 sport was back then for steroid use? Soccer.
True.
Yeah, but people look at soccer and go, they're not big, but they're small for some people think for endurance, recovery. Now, baseballers, when you've got elite athletes who are putting their body on the line week after week, and that's the thing that gets me too, is you get these armchair warriors sitting at home, smoking, drinking, maybe doing cocaine. Oh, he's cheating, taking drugs. Oh, that's no good for him. I'm like, shut the fuck up. It's like, but yet you want him to perform 100%. One day he doesn't do good. Excuse me. Oh, he's fucking. Well, I remember Ricky Ponting back in the day. He was one of our greatest batters, you know, apart from Bradman and them. Those last couple of years, he wasn't doing too well. He should fucking retire. He's useless. I'm like, he's fucking human, people. It's like, you know, he's not sitting in the locker room going, you know what, today I'm just going to go out there and fuck it. I'm just going to play that shit. Screw the country. I don't care about Australia. He goes out, he does his best, but that's not his day. That day, the bowlers got the day. It's his good day. So people forget. And you have to remember too, it's like the armchair warriors. It's like, you've ever played probably football or rugby, have you, on the field? When you're at eye level on the field and you're running flat chat, people come towards you, you look across and your mate's throwing the ball. You've got a split second to see that ball and grab it. And say you miss it, people at home are like, "Oh, that fucking idiot! He could have caught that." It's like, you're at home. You've got 20 fucking camera angles. Of course, you can see the fucking ball. Get amongst it. You don't see what shit's coming at you. So it's just crazy how we put so much pressure on these athletes and stuff when everyone goes out there to do their best. It's like they're going out there to fuck off, and they are human. They have good days, bad days. Some days the other team's better or the other person's better. But yeah, but when it comes to things like that, people don't realize when it's a fast-paced game and you're amongst it, your adrenaline's running, and like I said, you're looking and the ball's coming at you, you miss it. The guy at home, like I said, they'll slow it down. There's a camera this side of the field. You can clearly see the ball. The camera, you can clearly see the ball. But when you're in the game, it ain't that quick.
Story,
Those that can't do criticize.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much now these days, isn't it?
So obviously being a bodybuilder, you weren't powerlifting, but did you ever hit any big 1 rep maxes?
No, I never did 1 reps. No, my best bench when I was younger was like I did 525 pounds for 6 reps. I never got into it.
Monstrous.
Yeah, people used to say, because even when I was 18.
Was that like when you're off season and
no, I was
really...
getting ready for a show actually. And they used to scare me because I think it's because I was eating, because off season I'd eat some shitty foods and that, but I wouldn't eat regularly. So it's like, you get a bit lethargic. I think my biggest regret was I could have been better in my off season, because off season I was totally opposite. Like getting ready for a show, you're regimented, eat this time, train that time, cardio this time, like a machine. Off season, I'll eat what I want, do what I want. So off season when I could have made more gains, I just let it go because I just wanted to be a normal person. So yeah, it was like, when I did that, when I was like 18, I squatted 6 plates and that for like 8 reps or more. And people say, do bodybuilding, Lee. I'm like, no, I'm doing this. That, just to me, because I saw bodybuilders or guys at the gym, I'll try 1 rep and there goes their pec or something. Like, nah, I won't do that.
Speaking of, did you get any major injuries, or have you had any major injuries?
I never got injured in the gym once.
That's
my
amazing.
whole career.
Yeah.
The shoulder I tore was moving a TV, and then 2 neck operations was from a young exchange student T-boned me in the car, and that's sad. That's what put end of my career, because in 2006 when the IFBB suspended me and that, I pretty much moved home in 08 and I was pretty much done with bodybuilding. I kept training, but I took 7 years off and just didn't do anything. And then they asked me to do the Mr. Universe. I'm like, okay, I'll do it. And I did it and won it. And then 2014, I was just promoting being Mr. Universe. And 15, I was getting ready for the world. When I had the car accident, sort of because that caused the muscle atrophy on this side a bit. So that pretty much ended the competing career. And I was 45 then. Yeah. When I won the Universe, I was 42. So
yeah, right.
When do you think bodybuilders usually peak? Because it seems like they peak older, right?
Well, back then, everyone was probably peaking from like 24, because guys were turning pro early back then.
Yeah.
Now, for some reason, they're not turning pro to in their 30s, some of them. And I don't know, I just think training's changed too, because back then, sure, people come up with different things, but to me, bodybuilding's weird, because now everyone thinks, I trained with Dorian when I was younger. Dorian did more than 45 minutes and did more than 1 set. It's like, Dorian just did 1 set. It's like, everyone wants to be a champion in bodybuilding, but they don't want to go I used to train twice a day, getting ready for a show, like 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours at night. When I was good friends with Arnold, because I'd see him every day at the gym, and I did all those photos in his encyclopedia for him. And he'd tell me that sometimes I trained 2 or 3 times a day. But because that's all they did, they had time to rest, they had time to eat so they could grow. But I said, but you can just go to the gym and train, and no, that's too much overtraining. I'm like, but now these pros are getting paid to do nothing, so they train once a day for 1 hour, then the rest of the day they're doing fuck all. Like, you can go back and train again. Oh no, I'll overtrain. I'm like, mate, you're taking gear, you're going to recover, you're eating, you get rest. You're not going to. The human body can take a good punishment to actually overtrain. You've got to really be going balls to the wall constantly. And I don't see those pricks sitting at the gym scrolling, overtraining. I saw one guy once and he was doing that, and I saw it because I saw him on his Instagram. Big day today, killed it. I'm like, the only thing you killed were your fucking thumbs. Like, you didn't do fuck all. So it's like, just people are just scared of hard training now. It's just like crazy. Like, I understand gym can be a social. That's all you're going there for. That's fine. But when I talk about not having phones in the gym, and I said, that's if you want to be a champion and be good at it. Yeah. A phone's a fucking distraction. I have it for my music. Yeah, you go to pick a song. Oh shit, I got some messages. Let me have a look. So then your whole mindset's gone. So yeah, if you just want to go to the gym and fuck around, that's fine. But yeah, people that want to be champions, so they always give me every excuse under the sun. I feel like, I want music. I said, I trained at World Gym for 8 years, no music at all. It's like, even when I did train, there's music in the gym. I couldn't tell you what's playing because I'm so focused. It's just background noise. I couldn't tell you, because people go, well, I hate going to the gym and this song's on. I'm like, how do you know what song's on? I said, you should be that into your training. You should know, but I see young kids, they'll be Okay, looking for the right song. Okay, then they go do their squats.
Yeah,
It's like
they got to have their special song to do a
it's
lift.
like if you need music to motivate you, get the fuck out. It's like I used to love going, and when I was younger, I just loved squatting heavy. I didn't need no music to motivate me or shit like that. So it's changed a lot now. Like I said, if you want to go there just for that, that's fine. But the ones you can't complain. Like there's one guy who's always complaining he wasn't get big, and that I watch him train probably 2 or 3 times a week. He wouldn't eat properly. I'm like, well, what do you expect's going to happen? Oh, when I go to the gym, I'm like, so what? It's like they would let me go into a tennis court, swinging a racket around, going, why aren't I professional yet? Why aren't I at Wimbledon? It's like you got to be serious if you're going to do it. But if you want to fuck around, that's fine. But just don't complain about you're not making gains or getting anywhere.
Who were your main training partners when you were in your prime?
Just normal people, generally. Like when I was in Australia, it was Andy Cunningham and Paul Round and a guy called Barry Street, but just like average people. Yeah, then I went to America, good friend called Kirk Miller. He was like an amateur competitor, but just generally I trained by myself. Or when I was married to Kathy, she's a female bodybuilder, she would spot me. But yeah, no one, I didn't really train with any other pros at all. I just trained, yeah. And then sometimes I would train with younger, but later on too, you'd go to train with some people and I'm like, mate, you're seeing a contest where I'll do a certain weight. What do you want? I'll do the same. I'm like, oh, fuck. I have to end up spotting them because it's like, mate, we're not here to, like, if you want to compete, sometimes you get that competition going, but generally it's like with reps. If we put like 500 pound on a leg press, I'll do 20 reps, he'll do 25, you fucking brick, I'll do 30 reps next set. So I do that, but sometimes you get people who want to use the same weight, they haven't got the strength. So it's just like, oh, this is going to be terrible and I've got to spot them or they're going to only do half a rep. I'm like, come on, if you can't do it properly, just get the ego out the way, So I just generally train with normal people.
Sure. So half the time with normal people and the other half you were just on your own. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I actually like training by myself. I just get in there, get it done, and focus. Days I wanted to go like heavy on squats or something. I wanted to go heavy with dumbbells. And you need a spot. I'd prefer to have someone then, or sometimes get ready for contest because you start getting mentally tired. I'm like, okay, if I got to meet Kurt at the gym at 5, I'll be there. If it's me, I'll like 5. I'll go at 6. 7. I'll go at 8. So sometimes you need someone just to hold you accountable to get there and go do it type thing. So
yeah. Well, I've got 2 more questions for you. What's your all-time favorite movie?
Movie? I always get stuck into people that ask me online. I say, how can I have a fucking favorite? It's like,
top 3 or whatever.
I can't even mention that because I'm like, because when it comes to say there's action, there's comedy, there's drama, there's so many good ones. Because I might say, I love Rocky 4, one of the best ones, and I'm like, oh, but Terminator was good. So was Terminator 2. I just start listing off. I could get to 100 films that I think are all great, so I can't really have. But even like it's funny. The ones that stick with me the most could be like real true stories. Like it's an obscure one, but Anthony Hopkins in that The Littlest Indian, the true story of the guy. He was from New Zealand and he took the motorbike over the Bonneville. I like silly inspirational stories.
That is a great movie.
Yeah, I recommend it. I think it's called The Littlest Indian, Anthony Hopkins. And when he's over there, he meets up with that drag queen. At first, he doesn't really understand that she's a drag because he goes to America, takes the bike he built, and he actually breaks the land speed record and that from the guy from New Zealand. So even like something like as bad as it was and sad, like you get back into the Holocaust, like a movie like Schindler's List, that sort of thing, where at the end he's like, oh my God, as he's leaving, and the Jewish people give him that ring with, who saves the one life saves the world, and tired, and he's just sitting in the car crying, going, the car we're leaving in could have saved 10 more lives and stuff. So I sort of like movies that sort of have some sort of meaning or there's actually true life stuff, sort of things like that. So.
Well, you can see it mine, huh?
I used to collect all that stuff when I lived in America. And sometimes I just sit there and go, oh, this shit, I wasted money. I had one like similar to your Batman, but mine was Darth Vader coming down the stairs and the lights all come up through the bottom of it and stuff. So similar to that one, but a bit bigger, had all the lights that came up, but because over in America, there's so many of those shops you can go into and buy life-size shit, life-size Iron Man.
The Bruce Lee's life-size.
Yeah. Well, it's funny all the crazy stuff you could get. I'd go crazy over there. I'd go up to Universal City, walk outside Universal Studios.
Yeah.
Had a place there called Out of This World, and that's where they sold us all this type of stuff. And should I get that? I'll buy it, then go home and go, why did I buy that? I don't like buying stuff for myself generally.
Yeah.
Unless it's just a car to get around you. But I could be in Kmart some days. I'd pick up a $10 t-shirt. I'm like, do I really need it? I got t-shirts and put it back. But then I could go pick up a shirt for $200 for a mate. Have no problem buying it. But for myself, I got more joy out of giving people stuff. And I never used to mention it, but my mum talked about it and my friends talked about it on the documentary, how like I just pay for people's groceries or I'll be in a restaurant. Mainly old couples too, because I was raised by my grandparents, so I'd always felt sorry for them. So I'd see an old couple and get the waitress over and pay their bill and leave, or if we're at the supermarket, because the elderly people on the pension find it hard that, and so I'd be like, I'd get one of those like Coles or Woolworths gift card, $200, and I'd make sure I get in front of the old person, like when they come through, give them the gift card, and I just sort of stand back to make sure the teller gives it to them.
Yeah,
These young kids, fuck that, I'll give that. So I just do shit like that all the time, and I don't have one bodybuilding trophy or Mr. Olympia medal or Arnold Classic medal. I auctioned them all off, and when I did that, Sean Ray's like, "Oh, you must be hard up for money," but every dollar, I got like thousands of dollars for some of my trophies and medals. Like 2 of my medals I buried with my grandfather when he passed away, but the rest of them auctioned off, and all the money I gave to animal charities and stuff like that because I like animals. So at the moment, I've got 7 cats and 2 dogs, but I used to volunteer at the RSPCA for like 2 years, and where I live now, I have like 4 acres. So I was thinking about starting to go fund me because I have like a big acre paddock, has like some old horse sheds fallen down.
Yeah.
I'd like to get them done up and turned into like a place where, because people need places now to put llamas, donkeys, horses, where they pay the vet bills and food, but they just need places to put it, or dogs. So I was like, that seems like you're begging for money. I said, no, it's not, because I can get animals here and help foster animals. So I've always liked that. Yes, so every trophy I had, I sold off it, which was good because I only had them sitting in boxes. To me, I got the memories. I don't need. You see some bodybuilders have all their trophies behind them every time they do a podcast. Oh, look at me, I'm important. I got a few race trophies still, but all the bodybuilder ones. And the thing was good because someone would buy the Ironman trophy, and it'd be like a gym somewhere or whatever, the Universe trophy, and they'll send me a photo. Here's my trophy at the gym. They're like, oh, this motivates people to train. I'm like, but that's the perfect place for it. If my trophy is motivating people to train, that's where it should be, because I didn't need it, and the money went to a good cause, to the animal, like over 100 animal rescue at the RSPCA and places like that. So I've always done stuff like that, but I always just, I said, more like helping people, just buying gifts, like I said, but just random strangers. I prefer doing it. Just I don't have to hang around to see the look on their face. I just leave sometimes. And I remember
That's cool,
last
man.
time I had a birthday somewhere. I could just see this daughter must have, I think it was a father's 80 if I heard him say that a thing, and he was in a wheelchair and that. So I was just like, okay, walking up, like, give me their bill. I think it was an expensive one too. I think the most expensive one I had was at like a restaurant. They had a family across from us, and it was another birthday for a grandmother. I said, it's always the older people to get me in. Someone's going to see me at the restaurant now and go, quick, grandma, Lee will pay for our dinner. Yeah, and it was like the 80th again or something again. It's like a big table, like, give me their bill. I think I knew it was going to be high. I get the bill, like, oh, $450. Okay, fuck it, pay it. I just paid and left, type of thing. So just knowing that would have been happy for them when they went to pay the bill, like someone's taking care of it. Or sometimes I've done it when I go on a petrol station. If there's an elderly person filling up, I'll pay mine. If I see him walking towards me, I'll like, quickly, let me pay for my number, pump 42. Like, sure, yeah, give me pumping before I walk out. I'm like, don't tell them it's me. And I just see the person walking out, like, in this bewilderment, like, wow, someone just paid for my gas. So yeah, but you don't have to go like big like that. But it's even, I've seen people do it just swimming like McDonald's sometimes. You have to go through a drive-through. Just, I've often done it. Like the car behind me, just let me pay for theirs. And so, don't have to say I did it. Just say, oh, just tell them it's on the house or something. So I just like doing little things like that. Just can change someone's day or something.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
they might, but I try and check them out. If they're winning like a fucking Rolls Royce behind me, I'm not going to pay for your coffee. So, but it's just
he
like
can buy his own fucking
yeah, yeah. So yeah, generally like just I don't give enjoyment doing stuff like that.
Yeah, no, it's good. And by you doing that, you don't know what could come from that, because sometimes the little things they like you've brightened their day, and then they might go, that thing that I've always wanted to do for that person, or this or that, I'm going to go and do that now.
I was at the grocery store once, and I had a whole trolley full. The person behind me just had like 4 items. I'm like, you can go ahead. They went ahead and said, look, listen, just scan their items and add it to mine. And this person always started crying. I'm thinking, fuck, it's only like a couple of cleaning products and a loaf of bread or something. But just because someone did something, and
it never happens anymore.
No, the last one. The last one I did was I was at my friend's mechanic shop, and he just serviced my car, and there was an old guy there, and he was like an old retired police officer. His wife had passed away, and he was telling me like when he was a police officer, he got respect and this and that. I just got chatting. I said, does not really get drawn to older people. It's just from my grandfather and that. I went up to Craig and my bill. I think I had like an oil change. That was like 120. I said, give me his. I didn't know what it was, and he goes, here you go. It was like 360. I'm like, give it to me. I paid it, and as I was about to leave, he paid it. And he said, that's taken care of. And he looks at me, he's just like this, and he just broke down crying. He's like, my whole life, no one's done anything nice like that. Then probably 6 months later, I got a message on Instagram. I said, are you Lee Priest and such? You met my father and you paid? I said, yeah. I say, yeah, that's me. She goes, oh, I got to thank you. No one's ever done it. She goes, I just had to write to you to see if you were real or not, because when my father told me the story, I couldn't believe it. So I said, just do random shit like that.
Yeah.
I said, it just makes me feel good. And if it makes them feel good later, but yeah.
And this is the thing as well, like going back to what you were talking about before, that the people that yell and scream and pat themselves on the back the most about how fucking good of a person they are usually the people that are they're not as virtuous as they like to say.
Right.
And the people that they will demonize, they're actually the good people.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, I'm not religious, I'm spiritual, but I'd always help people. I've had people say, well, if you're not religious, you won't go to heaven. So I'm like, so I could help people like I do and do whatever. I'll never go to heaven because I only, ask God for forgiveness, but I could murder someone, ask for forgiveness, and then go to heaven. They're like, yeah, I said, well, that's pretty fucked up. Yeah. I just, like I said, I just try and do little bits here. But I said, I never used to talk about it, but it's when my friends, because so people don't know what Lee does, and that then they put it all out there on the documentary. Like, what do you have to tell them that for? So I just to do it just because I knew I did it. I didn't need to look at me like sometimes people do it on Instagram and they film themselves giving someone money and stuff.
It takes away from the act of kindness because now you're doing it for
And I said, we all can do
reasons.
it. I said, we all can do it. I said, just something simple as you in a McDonald's drive-through, just say, car behind me. Pay for their coffee. If they've got a car of 10 kids, you might be like, oh, maybe the next car. Something like that. Yeah, but I just, like I said, even at the petrol station, if you look over and think, okay, it's not a four-wheel drive, it's a little Corolla maybe. And if it's an older person, generally they don't put much in it because they're on a pension. If I'm in before them, I'll get their bill and think, okay, I got their receipt, I can claim tax on it later. So
you're welcome to come and put some fuel in my patrol, mate.
Hey, I got an American built a Humvee. I hope someone will do it for me one day. But I said I didn't do it for any recognition or get anything back. I said it just makes me happy. Like whether it's elderly people helping like that or helping animals. So.
With bodybuilding, what was out of your full career, what was the shining, most impactful moment that you had? That you look back through all your career and like that's the best.
Say competing with my mum, but generally it wasn't, because with contests I had to compete. I hated competing. I loved the training and the way it made me feel more mentally and that. But man, it was just like the good thing about competing was you get to travel the world and meet the fans. And of course, I've always been pretty. I am who I am. I don't put on who I am. You're either going to like me or hate me. And
so if you could do that. Get in great conditioning and then go to an expo instead of competing.
I do now. I don't get in great condition, but I haven't competed since, like I said, 2013. I still got contracts. I still travel the world. When I go to the UK, my seminars are all sold out, and I just did a video with the Trend Twins, so that gave me more following and stuff. Like most of my fans now, a lot of them still like 18, 19. They weren't around when I finished competing, so I'm surprised I still got this longevity. But most of them are just like, "Oh, we like you, Lee. Just say it how it is. You're down to earth." And I think if you just be yourself, like I say, you're going to have people, because in this world now, I'm going to think of anything worse because everyone wants to be somebody and say they're with this group of person, they act a certain way. But if I go to be with this group now tomorrow, I've got to act so they like me over here. I'm thinking, just be yourself. If you're yourself, the right people are going to be attracted to you and you can be yourself. I couldn't think of anything worse having to act a certain way just to be accepted, have people like me. So,
well, then you're not even going to know who you are, because if you go about your whole life acting certain ways to impress other people, then who are you as a core person?
Exactly. That's when you sit at home all alone, miserable.
I think it's a really, really important message for a lot of the younger people out there at the moment.
Just be yourself. Like I said,
100%.
Because like I said, because that's the thing. I think some young kids probably get depressed because they can't be themselves. It's like, I have to act this way or act like this person for my friends to accept me. I said, well, they're not really your friends. If they can't accept you for who you are, that's whether just if you're silly, or even if you're gay and stuff like that. If they can't accept you for that, then they're not worth being around, because your friends should be your friends no matter what. So
100%. It's funny because, like, I mentioned a couple of the security and that. I'm like, oh, do you follow bodybuilding? And blah, blah, blah. Not really. And I'm like, oh, because I got Lee Priest coming over for a podcast. Oh, Lee Priest. They all knew exactly who you are, even though they didn't know much of it. Like,
I was good friends with like John Schneider from the Dukes of Hazzard. We used to go racing in his General Lee, and that sometimes we'd actually take it racing. And it's funny because we'd be out places and people are like, oh, Lee Priest. And sometimes they wouldn't recognize John Schneider, recognize me. He goes, Lee, it's funny though. He goes, a lot of these people that recognize you, he goes, they don't even look like they go to the gym. And it's funny, I've got a lot of, because I do is different. I might put something out on Instagram or Facebook and it might go viral for me. Just I was abusing the banks one day because I wanted to get money out. They wanted to ask me, what's the money for? Or I was leaving Coles one day and they locked my trolley up and they accused me of stealing something. So I'm like, fuck you, Coles. I'm like, I'm using the self-checkout. I'm like, why would I steal and stuff? I got the receipt and because I did a big rant about it, I was walking down the street. Oh, you're the guy from Coles. Yeah, fuck. So I think it's just people, maybe the face tattoos too, they remember it more, but people are like, have I seen you somewhere? So I'm like, oh, I know, it just could be good or bad. It's like, did I offend you? Yeah, but just like I said, just be yourself. It's like, because I found it too, because I was raised by grandparents who accepted everybody. I had a cousin who was transsexual and went through the whole psychology thing before they transitioned and that. Whereas today, a lot of people just do it for the women thing, but for the ones that really going through that, I said my father, he's gay and he's been with his partner now 40 years, so I don't judge anyone. It's like, I just take people how they are. If they treat me nice, I treat them nice. I don't.
That's why I think that's where that non-binary thing come from. So that way they can throw themselves in that group. I'm a victim too. It's
just great. But I said, let's just be yourself. And if people don't like you for that, find the ones that
do. My brother's gay. I don't care. I'd consider myself like a 90s liberal. I'm happy for gay people to get married. They can be as miserable as the rest of us.
And I'm like, hey, what you do in your bedrooms, as long as you're not pushing on me, I don't care what you do.
You do you,
as long
bro.
As you're not hurting anyone.
If you're like one of them Thai lady boys that looks like a woman, I don't care. Go for the women. But if you're a bloke in a dress with a beard,
I know that's what
you ain't fucking going.
I know. When I see them, I'm like, which one are you going to commit to here?
It's
You want me to call you a woman, but you got a beard. It's like, come on, mate. Like, you're pushing it here now, but but like I said, if they're happy, I just have a laugh and whatever. So don't take it. Like I said, like you're saying before about the people that do stuff. I remember I had a lot of friends in America that are religious, but trust me, if you're laying on the street, they would step over you. I remember because I used to go on walks. I'd walk to the gym and I got known because I always give money to the homeless people or food. And I had a Humvee, a Hummer back then. As soon as I popped the lights, I come, are you Lee? Yeah, why? My mate said you give us money. I said, how'd you know it's me? Because they said you drive a Hummer. I'm like, oh, fuck, I stand out like dog's balls. One day I was walking to the gym and Powerhouse Gym was opening in Venice. I asked the Davish brothers, listen, we're having a big banquet. And I was just walking to the gym. One guy I met, though, he said, can I walk in? I said, sure. So we got talking. He's like, oh, no one really talks to us. I'm glad you talk. And I got he had a great job, married, kids, lost his job, which caused problems. So he lost his family, lost his house, and now he's on the street. So to me, that could be any of us on any given day. Yes, some like to live on the street and do that, but most are just falling on hard times. So after the gym opening, I looked outside, there's probably 40 homeless lined up and they came in. They were just grabbing the food, putting sandwiches in their pockets. I remember this one homeless guy all dirty. He's putting his finger in the dip. He's like, what's this? The old homeless lady's like, I don't know. I didn't cater this fucking affair. How would I know what it is? Just like, but I thought they have good, interesting stories to tell and stuff like that. So,
That fentanyl, though, that seems to be a big problem in the US, and it seems to be putting a lot of people on the street.
Yeah, sadly they get into that too. Yeah, so like that's the thing. I'd give money to someone like, Lee, they're only going to spend that on alcohol. I said, look, who am I to judge? I said, if they've been through something in their life or whatever, and it's caused them to be where they are. I've said if having a few drinks or getting drunk brings them happiness, I said I'm not going to judge them for that. So who am I to say, make sure you go spend this on a sandwich? And that's I just like I said, as long as I said you will get the crazy ones now because a lot of the mental places are all being let out. Not many homes they can go to and get help now, so they're on the streets, and sadly they can cause harm to people. But a lot of them are just ended up in a bad situation and living in their car, living on the street. And like I said, that could be any one of us at any given moment. So
yeah, definitely. You got any?
No, I think we're probably out of time.
That's okay, but we can. I'm more than happy. Like I said, I'll be home. So even next week, if you want to do a part two, we can do
100%.
Zoom over thing.
That'd be awesome. Yeah. I've got one last question though before you want to. Do you want to shoot one before?
No, good mate.
So this is a question I ask everyone. Do you have any supernatural experiences?
The house I was living in when I was younger, they said was haunted, but they only told me that because the people that lived in it before me, I ran into one day, and I used to always have this, could have two reoccurring dreams. Where you fall off a cliff, and generally you wake up if you hit the ground. I never did. I just kept falling over and over and landing in water, and I'd sink to the bottom and then come back up. And then someone told me that an old person in the house drowned in the bathtub a long time ago. Well, that'd be pretty dangerous. But you know that dream too, you run away from someone, you can't get away, and they grab you on the back of the neck.
Yeah.
You know when someone does that to the back of your neck, you get that feeling?
Yes.
That wouldn't go away till I woke up. And then another time, weird shit would happen in the house. And one time my mum, she just started talking in tongue at night time and abusing my stepfather. Had to get my my uncle is a captain in the Salvation Army. He come over and he's like praying over because she was just lost it. Then she woke up the next day, she couldn't remember any of it. another time I was in the bedroom, like empty bed, just looking out the window. Bang! The window come down on my fingers and crushed them. I didn't cry. I said, "Mom, come here." She's like, "What?" I said, "Mom, you need to come here." She's like, "If you want me, you come here." I said, "I can't come there. Come here." So she comes and she says, "Oh my God, why didn't you tell me?" So she got off, my fingers were crushed. But then 2 weeks later, boom, came down on her fingers and busted all her fingers. So maybe the house could have been a little haunted, but who knows? I said, there's so many weird things, whether it be UFOs or this or that. I said, there's something out there, I think. I said, even when it comes to other planets, I said, we couldn't be the only ones, because I'm thinking if we are, we're fucked. I said, there's got to be more intelligent. If this is intelligent life,
this is the
we're screwed. Exactly.
The peak here.
Exactly. Wow, we're going downhill now. So the caveman were probably better than us. So yeah.
I agree. I think there's something out there. I've seen things before.
Many things, and like I said, people are sure you're going to get crackpots here and there, but it's just even when it comes to UFOs, when you've got high military men, that astronauts and fighter pilots, these aren't crackpots that are just like out in the country. We saw a flight in the sky. These are military men who put their careers on the line, saying we saw this. So
they didn't say, "Oh, this is ET," but they've this is what are they called? UAPs now, right?
But when it comes to the ocean, I said the ocean's so deep. Is there Loch Ness? Maybe we don't know what's at the bottom of the ocean, or space, or even some of the jungles and forests still haven't been explored. There could be Bigfoots or Sasquatch. We don't know. So I never say no. Definitely, I always leave it. I always had an open mind to anything. So yeah.
All right, Lee. I really appreciate you coming on there, coming on the show, and we're all big fans, and for you to take the time to come out here. Means a lot.
Part 2, and 100%. Maybe on the other part we'll talk about training more.
Part 2 training.
Yeah, but I said it's just all like one day next week. You just want to do it over Zoom or something. Just
for sure. Yeah, I'll 100%.
Okay.
And for all the lads out there, we appreciate you sticking around for another episode with a legend like Lee Priest.
Dickhead.
3 dickheads.
And we'll do a part 2.
It'll be a new podcast, The 3 Dickheads. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Oh, good.